Secret number 2, you grab the attention with your big promise headline. I cannot emphasize how important headline is. Now, headline doesn't mean it just on a web page. Headline could be mean, let's say in an email, your subject line. That is your headline. Because what is the outcome we want from a subject line? Tell me. What is it that we want them to do? Yes, to open the email, to read more. Because if they don't read the email, they delete it. They're not even reading a message. If they're not reading a message, they cannot click and buy. Same thing if on a web page, it is their headline all throughout the page. Or social media could be a first sentence. So it's very, very important to talk about something they are interested in. Don't waste time. Where everybody's tuned into the WIIFM, you've heard that before. What's in it for me? They don't care about your company. They don't care about what we do. They care about themselves. What's in it for me? How many have seen ads like this? The first opening paragraph headline, we are so awesome. We've been in business since 1985. We are this and we are that. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Talk about them. What can you do for them? What's going through their mind? You need to enter, write this down, you need to enter the conversation that's going on in their head. That is what's going to make you effective as a copywriter. You need to enter their world. What are they going through? What are they going through? Can you describe their problems better than they could? Get out of your ego and get into your prospect's ego. Write it down.
I love that.
Get out of your ego and get in your prospect's ego. What are they going through? I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say, I'm just hypothetically making this up. Let's say suddenly I have on my left elbow, I have like a little bit of like a needle pain, and it's been going on for almost like 2 weeks. And I try different things and I try to stretch, but it's always just like a little bit of pain bothering me for like just my elbow. I don't know why. I took painkiller, it doesn't work. Okay, I've got this pain going on. It's not real. I'm just telling you a scenario. So let's say that's happening. And I was talking to different people and no one could solve the problem for me. Suddenly I'm talking to a friend of mine. And I was like, hey man, I don't know. What's going on, Dan? Yeah, I don't know. My left elbow just got this bothering me. He said, you know what? About 2 years ago, I had exactly the same problem with my right elbow. It's kind of like a sharp needle pain. It's like very nagging. And that went on for like 3 weeks or so. And I tried to see a different doctor and it doesn't really work. Now, what would be my reaction if you were me? Right? What would be your reaction? It's like, okay, good. You'd understand what the hell I'm going through. Tell me more. Well, you know, and then I went to this acupuncture and he put some needles on me. And next day I am like, I feel nothing, back to normal. What would be my next question to him? What's the acupuncturer's name? Give me the phone number, yes? That's what I'm talking about. Now, he didn't talk about how great the acupuncture is or the acupuncture's got 10 years of track record, has helped thousands of patients. None of that. I want you to think about this scenario. All he did was describing the problem that he had experienced exactly like mine. And without even fully know, I don't care where the acupuncture is. I don't care how much he charged. I don't care. You've got a solution. You understand my problem. I want to buy. Does that make sense? I want you to think about this whole scenario here. Because people buy, not because they understand what you sell. They buy because they feel understood. Understood. Can you believe we're like secret one? We're already 1 hour in. Holy shit. Okay. FedEx. Think about FedEx. What's FedEx big promise? Who could tell me? Who could tell me? When it absolutely has to be there overnight. That's a big promise. That's what it is. That's how FedEx built an entire company. That promise, when it absolutely has to be there overnight. Is that very clear? Is that very specific? Now, notice it's very, very, very cool. So, what are they selling? Tell me, what are they actually selling with their promise? Are they just selling delivery? No, they're selling speed. They are selling speed. Be very, very careful about this. Think it through. They're selling speed. Now, they're not promising your package will arrive there with absolutely no damage. They're not promising that. They're promising speed. They're very clear who they're selling to. Now, they know if you want the package delivered in a timely fashion, are people willing to pay more for that? Yes or no? So they charge you more. Otherwise, you could use just the regular postal office. That's perfectly fine. That's okay. Now, what is very powerful with this, when they introduce, if you study FedEx history, later on, there are other companies. You have UPS, you have like DHL, even in Canada, for example, we have, of course, you have US, you have US Postal Office. Canada, even Canada Post, we have express delivery too, right? Don't we? Yeah. Later, we have express delivery. But because FedEx has spent so much time, money educating the marketplace about speed, when I want something delivered quick, first that comes to mind is not Canada Post, is FedEx. I want you to think about the power of that. So even though right now there are other people, other companies who could kind of do the same thing, they could do overnight delivery. However, this message, this headline has been ingrained in our mind so much. Oh, yeah, we even use the word. How many use the word? Let's FedEx it. Let's FedEx it. How many use that? Do we use, let's Canada Post it? Let's UPS it. Right? Let's DHL it. No. Let's Purolator it. No, let's FedEx it. The word FedEx itself just stands for overnight delivery. You getting this? Good. So what about you? What can you promise? What is the big headline? What's the something that you could promise? Let me help you out a bit. So put in a chat, let me give you some feedback. What's the big promise you can use in the headline? Let's see what you have. Integrity. Triple your sales. Burnout prevention. Pain-free. Quality. Okay, this is important. A lot of this stuff, satisfaction, quality, all that, they are horrible, horrible promises. Who could tell me why? They're vague, too general. Other people say the same shit. Overused, yes. Not precise, very good. You're getting it. That's good. I'm happy you're getting this. It's like all these stuff, like I call them like fluffy words, integrity. Not that it's extremely critical. Quality is extremely critical. But all these things, they don't fucking know until they have bought. how could they quantify quality, integrity, satisfaction before they buy? Hello? They can't. They cannot. Ed? Steven?
Yeah,
I
let's
was
just be
just gonna
real.
say,
Let's
I
just be
saw
real,
someone.
guys.
Oh,
These things are assumed. Like if you don't have quality, you don't have integrity, we got a problem.
And it doesn't get people buying.
It doesn't get people to buy. Dan, do you at any point talk about me too, me better, me only?
We can talk about that. We can talk about that right now. Actually,
Let's-
Ed, talk about it. I'll let you
Yeah,
talk.
Ed, why don't you share about me too, me better, me only?
I taught Ed about this.
so Me Too is when you basically have the same product or service or promise as someone else, and so your market goes, well, what the heck? What's the difference? And then Me Better is you're saying, oh, I'm better than my competitor, or my promise is better. Now, better can be good in some scenarios, but there's a third step, which is Me Different, which is when your entire promise is completely different from anybody else, and that makes you stand out in the eyes of your competitors, makes you much more desirable to purchase from.
So, me too, me better, and me only. Ideally, you want to get to me only. Now, you may not be able to do that for everything that you have, every product that you have. But the closer you get to that, the more power you have in the marketplace. The more power you have in the marketplace. So to differentiate yourself, you got to spend some time thinking about what is this something that I could promise that other people cannot promise? What is it something that I could deliver that other people cannot deliver? Because that's what is going to make you stand out in the marketplace. Now, it also means you need to do some thinking. Write this down, thinking time. Most entrepreneurs, most business owners, they don't know how to think. I mean, real thinking. Not like daydreaming, not ADD, real thinking time, deep thinking. Thinking about your marketplace, thinking about your potential customer, thinking about your promise, thinking about your big promise, thinking about your headline. If you want to write a good headline, I tell all my mentees, if you're going to write a headline, typically they ask Steven, when we write something, a page, a headline, how many headlines do you write?
Dozens. I would say dozens.
To write a dozen, could be 20, could be 30. And then he would send it to me. I would review it and I would pick the ones that I believe would work well. Not you write one. Okay, this is the one. I guarantee you this. If you write one versus you write 10 and 20 or 30, by the time you write 30 headlines, you would pick one that's like so much better than if you just write one. You with me? Because the more you write, the more clarity you have, and you would kind of move it around. You move the words around, saying, this is missing something. Or what about this? What about that? I'm not so sure. So write more than one. Write more than one, for sure. Cooperating secret number 3, call out your enemies. Now, this is interesting. So we talk about call out your customer, right? Call out your prospect. That's secret number 1. Now, sometimes what you could do is you actually call out your enemies. You're basically telling them what we are not. You're not. So calling out your prospects, say, this is who we serve. This is who is our ideal customer. Calling out your enemies is like, this is who we are not. This is who we are not. Let's go back to the Apple example. How many have seen this ad? How many of you have seen this ad? Right? The Mac versus PC. So they are using this comparison. They're actually very powerful because they actually humanize it. They humanize the product. Instead of just comparing features and benefits of computers, all that, they're using this exaggerated, right, example of, oh yeah, I get it. So PC is very clunky. It's very complex, and Mac is lean, it's cool, it's hip. Yes. So they're using that. So a lot of people think about using Apple products because it's not. Of course, I use Mac, I use iPad. My whole team almost use. Everybody use Apple products. But more than that, there's that factor of cool. Right? Use PC is not that cool. Even the functions, but it's not that cool. But Apple's like, this is cool. Right? The new iPhone, this is cool. Right? If you want to be cool. So they know that's part of the business. Selling cool stuff. That's why people line up when there's a new release in iPhone. Why do people line up overnight? Why do people fight for it? It's cool. It's cool to have it first. Right? So be very, very, so they're not just selling the phone. They're not just selling the product. They go way beyond what they're selling. They're selling the emotion, selling against. So call out your competitors, call out your enemies. So if they say your enemy, your competitor, let's say what they do is very complex, you're very simple, emphasize that. On the other hand, you can flip it too. Your competitor, they're overly simple, but then you can position what you do. We are much more thorough. We're much more detailed. They do 3 steps, but we do 10 steps to ensure that the quality is there. See how you can do both? Depends how you do it. Aha. You getting this? Right? So you can do both. So you got to think about it. How many of you seen the Dollar Shave Club ad? If you have not, put it on your to-do list. Afterwards, you can watch it. Don't watch it during class, but watch it after. You can just go to YouTube and search Dollar Shave Club. It's one of the viral video, and it has helped this company grow to massive, massive level. They are basically selling a shave blade on a subscription model. That's what they do, okay? Now, if you've seen this, they're talking about the blade, they're talking all this stuff. It's hilarious. It's very well done, viral video. Even if you watch it again. But there is a script. There's a section in there that he uses the copying skill, and he does this paragraph. Do you think your razors needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Stop paying for shave techs you don't need. Now, I want this to sink in a bit. What are they doing? They are calling out their enemies, right? All these like fancy blade or shave tech, right? They're saying, you know what? We keep stuff simple. Do you really need all these like features and 10 different blades and all this shit, right? And you got a charger, all that stuff. What happens to the good old razor for $1? So they're not saying our blade is so much better. They're saying all this stuff. Why do you really need that shit? So they're talking to a very specific crowd and say, yeah, you know what? I really don't need that shit. Let me subscribe to this. So I get that blade delivered to my door every single month. So think about that. They're not saying our product is so much better. They are creating what I call a contrast. Write it down. A contrast. So they could compare. They could compare. And suddenly, because if they just say our stuff is better, our stuff is cheaper, yeah, maybe. But suddenly when they have this comparison, a contrast, you're right. Yeah, you know, my thing is so clunky, it's so big. When I travel, it's too much. It's got so many different, I got to change different blades, different functions, and I got to charge, and then I got to wait, and oh my God, I don't want that stuff. And boom, or you can get this. Yeah, keep it simple. I like this. Or people want to save money. So contrast.
Yeah, Sifu, can I jump in real quick?
Anytime.
Sure. So the really cool thing about what these guys do is they show people that they're different. They don't tell them that they're different and better. Like, if you imagine a restaurant owner, could you imagine him going, I have the best spaghetti in town? Okay. But if somebody else says they have the best spaghetti in town, or if they have awards that show people that they do, that's a lot more believable than them just saying it themselves.
And Curtis is asking, is it possible to close a 10K product with just copy? It is possible, but you would need, whoever is offering that, they need a lot of positioning and a lot of credibility in the marketplace for someone to buy the copy, just like buy the 10K product with copy. For most people in the marketplace, I believe anything that's above, let's say $3,000 to $4,000, probably $5,000, I would say $5,000, you probably need to get someone on the phone, which is what I teach in high ticket closing. Anything below $5,000, if with the right stuff, meaning the right positioning, the credibility, testimonials, you could not having someone to get on the phone and closing those sales. So case by case. Now, more than that, it's also the us versus them. So you're not saying that you are better. Instead, you are explaining what you are against. This is very profound. You're not saying why you are better. You're explaining to the marketplace what you are against. What do you stand for? What you don't believe in. So when you tell that to the marketplace, suddenly, oh yeah, you know what? I hate that too. So example, how many of you have read FU Money? How many have read FU Money? Yes, if you have not, you can go to fumoney.com. You can download that for free. Now, let me ask you this. I'm giving you some secret stuff here, okay? This is stuff I haven't talked to anybody else. This is like taking you behind the scenes. The entire FU Money book, there's so many books out there teaching people how to make more money, how to have more financial freedom, how to start your business, yes? But the entire FU Money message, when I wrote that book, the theme is exactly this secret that I'm sharing with you. I am explaining what I'm against. Otherwise, the book would be called, Financial Freedom or Financial Confidence, whatever it is. I am saying, so the minute people read the title, you don't even need to read the book. Think about when you tell people, or you're holding this book and people say, FU Money, immediately they get it. Yeah. It's saying fuck you to the boss, to the job, to being average, to being mediocre, to not living the life that I want. You see how all this is selling against. Not I'll get this beautiful life. No, it's what you don't want to tolerate. See, it makes it stand out. It makes it stand out immediately in the marketplace. Everybody goes, aha. Right? Secret number 4, stories. Stories move the world. Now, what do we mean by that? Stephen, what do we mean by that? Stories.
Stories sell like crazy.
Give me some examples.
I'm thinking about, does anybody know, this is kind of random, but does anybody know the brand La Mer? Type in the chat box if you guys know La Mer. Ladies? No? Okay. A lot of the women do. Most of the men don't. So La Mer is a super high-end facial brand. So they sell facial, like moisturizing creams, different things like that. I think it's about $500 for like maybe just the amount you can fit in your palm. So La Mer is a great example of this. They sell through story. Like their whole brand is built on this doctor who's trying to save their wife or his wife, right? And then he went through all of these different types of creams, couldn't find the right type of cream. And then finally he went, no, it's not made out of gold, Perlene, but finally he went into the ocean and then he extracted all of these ingredients from la mer, which is French for the ocean, right? And then that's basically the story that built the brand. There are so many examples. I'm sure that you can think of a couple of examples too. I saw in the comments, Bulletproof Coffee, right? A lot of brands are just built around the story because for whatever reason, human beings, it must have been because from millions of years ago, if you imagine our ancestors, they're a bunch of cave people. They just communicate around the fire, right? A bunch of hunters, they would go out into the wild. They'll talk, right? They'll hunt, do their thing. When they come back, they'll tell their stories and share what they learned with their tribe around the campfire. So that's part of the reason why stories are so powerful.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for, Sifu? I just want to throw an example in there.
I love it. I love it. Ed?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, some of the most top grossing movies, like the entertainment industry,
that's a beautiful example.
Just because of stories. Imagine this. You walk in a movie theater and you are contributing to a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, what do you get from the movie? Besides a few